Any old farm boy is going to tell you that one of the things you're taught, which is pretty valuable when you're young, is don't poke a hornet's nest. Those who live within will hurt you. For me, though, it's time to poke a hornet's nest. I'm going to talk about the guns in our midst. And first, I need to make it clear, I don't care if you have a gun, and I don't feel you should ever have to give it up. Understanding your need for that personal firearm, that's another matter. Something for another time. I have never personally owned a firearm, but I grew up with access to a .22 rifle and shotgun. They were my father's when we lived in the country. I was taught how to use them and how to respect them, and they were safely stored. When I went into the Army, I got the ubiquitous M1 rifle, with which I was only an average shooter. Later on came the M2 carbine, which I fired expert with. This was probably due to the fact that that one approximated the size and feel of the old .22, albeit with a little bit more firepower. I also shot the Colt 45, the 50 caliber machine gun, and others. None of this in combat. I merely cited here to let you know I'm not unfamiliar with these things, and I'm not some anti-gun nut. I am, however, a strong proponent of personal responsibility, and that is where I have a bone to pick. Far too many gun owners do not safeguard the weapons when they keep them in their house. According to the Center for American Progress, gun theft is significant here in the U.S. Data from the FBI shows that from 2012 to 2015, the most recent years compiled, almost $500 million worth of guns were stolen from individuals. And by the way, another 22,000 weapons were stolen from gun stores. The agency says a gun is stolen in the United States every 2 minutes, and they often head straight to the illegal underground gun market where they're sold and traded and used in violent crimes. The most recent study by researchers at the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health and Northwestern University's Department of Health Sciences found that approximately 380,000 firearms are stolen from gun owners every year. Now, against this backdrop is the report from numerous news agencies that during the recent July 4th weekend, gun violence killed 160 people and left 500 others wounded. In virtually all those cases, a stolen gun was the weapon involved. It would be easy to dismiss all this by saying the responsibility, after all, lies with the person pulling the trigger. To a degree, there is some truth there, but the fact remains these shooters were able to get a gun because of a ready supply of those stolen every year, many from law-abiding citizens. So, there is a share of responsibility for those who keep guns in the house or who carry one around. That Harvard study cited earlier found some common traits among gun owners who are theft targets. They turn out to be people who own many guns, carry them outside the home, don't safely store them in the house, or a combination of all those things. Look, if you absolutely, positively cannot get through the day without owning or carrying a gun, have at it. But take responsibility. Assure that things are securely locked up when you're home, meaning in a purpose-built gun safe. And when you leave a gun in your vehicle, make sure it is securely locked in place and out of view. That's one way to deter would-be thieves. I have to say it does seem to me that carrying a gun on your person is probably giving you a false sense of security. If somebody else points a gun at you first, you'll be wounded or dead before you can fumble yours out. And even worse, while you're lying there, wounded or dead, your assailant will most likely take your gun and promptly channel it into the black market. Just some food for thought. In the end, though, all I'm asking here is that gun owners be responsible. Don't let your weapons become part of a national problem.